Today begins a new journey, the prequel to College Football 26 and the series that will be starting on Monday. And the new coach that we will be following might just be a familiar name, Tyrone Rozeboom. Going back to the first off season with the Stanford Cardinal and head coach Coach Bearington. He recruited an athlete out of Little Rock, Arkansas, who became a middle linebacker for the Cardinal. And while he didn't see much playing time his freshman year, he was not redshirted. He saw some development and he took to the field primarily as a run stopper come his sophomore season, and he showed great signs of being a true run stopper for this developing team. And so much so that it would see him get some good development going into his junior year and really mark the start of the Stanford Cardinal turning the corner, becoming a bowl and playoff caliber team. But when it came to Rozeboom's senior season, he didn't have as high development as hoped. So Coach Bearington, wanting to keep him around, decided to redshirt Tyrone Rozeboom. And that would end up paying off big for Tyrone and the Cardinals, as Rozeboom would see the beginning of the Stanford Cardinal dominating competition, winning their first Pac-12 championship of 4 to come. But with that being his graduate season, it was time for him to move on. But it wouldn't be very far, as he would be hired as an assistant linebacker coach for the Stanford Cardinal, seeing them through 3 national championships. And each year, seeing his role with the Cardinal increase. Year 2, he was the defensive run game coordinator. And in year 3, with Joe Wesovich at running back, Tyrone also became the offensive run game coordinator. But that is where we split off, as following that win against Boise State, Tyrone Rozeboom would be offered the chance to go back home, joining the Arkansas State Red Wolves. And his biggest goal this year is to get Jaquez Cross as one of the best running backs in college football. Also, with the help of Zach Wallace, there should be a 1-2 punch with the power back and the elusive back. And helping out the run game is a pretty strong offensive line group as well. And if Rozeboom ever wants to find his way to a head coaching position, he has to show this year that he has what it takes after 3 years as an assistant/coordinator. And his first game in charge of the Red Wolves offense would come just 2 hours away from his hometown. With his family and friends behind him, it would be his offense getting the season underway versus the Pandas. And it's a run play one, exactly what to expect with Rozeboom. While he didn't get to play any running back with Stanford, he missed his time with that group from his high school days. Cross on back-to-back runs, he picks up 4. Now obviously Rozeboom will not be all strictly running the ball, but expect to see a slightly different approach than his protege in Coach Bearington, as it's a nice gain by Rucker around the end. So far, simplicity here for the Red Wolves and for Coach Rozeboom. Though missing the block across the middle, it's actually a decent gain though from Cross. He's already racking up the carries, 3 on the day, gain of 5, though he is huffing and puffing in the backfield there. Hard count from the Red Wolves as they would look to go to the air. No one quite opening up, so Rayner will take it himself. Sliding down inside the 35, it's a first down for Arkansas State. Shotgun look here with motion as they're tied into the backfield. Looks to be play action. Flipping this one outside, and perhaps a little too much loft on that one. Ultimately, goes as a gain of 6, though. Can't complain about that on first down. At the 27, Rucker right-hand side here. One spread to the left-hand side as he is in motion. Going right back to him. He's got some blockers out in front, but can't quite squeeze through that gap. Rucker taken down just inside the 20 at the 19 as Coach Rozeboom's first drive here going well. Just have to polish it off as he rolls to the outside, throwing again late. And then Rayner will find a gain of 3. So far, seeing some similarities between Coach Bearington and Rozeboom. A lot of underneath play. With trips look to the left-hand side. It's RPO. That cross keeps, shakes one, but gets taken down by the second. And has Arkansas State lined up right down the middle here at the 15 with a 3rd down. Hard count from Rayner. No one jumps. They go to cross on the screen. He's got a couple blocks, but they don't quite hold up. Next to no gain there, setting up a 4th down. If Coach Bearington is anything to be expected, it'll be aggressive from Rozeboom, but settling 4 points. His first possession as an offensive coordinator ends with his offense finding the scoreboard and taking the lead. Unfortunately, the defensive coordinator doesn't seem to have his side ready to go. Pandas would march down the field here, getting inside the red zone. A good pass broken up, though, across the middle. With a quick camera flip around here, it's a read option. Flipping this one to the outside, triple option. Works as a big gain, setting up a 3rd and 1 here for the Pandas. It's a pistol set. And more triple option here. Throwing out, it's actually going to be RPO that once again forces a field goal in this game. As the Pandas look to answer. A strong drive that ends with a ricochet, no good, and Rozeboom would find a lucky stop. Offense would move, but with a 3rd and 2 at the 42. It'll be crossing the backfield. He's led him so far this drive as he'll lead him to another 1st down, puts the spin move on to the 33. Coach Rozeboom's main mentality when it comes to offense is you got to find the steady play with that run game. Let the passing game pop up with a big one. Jackson coming across the middle, gets the Red Wolves down inside the 15. The shotgun look here, it's going to be RPO to the outside, and we'll pick up a few. Stepping down in competition, should expect a little bit more of those gadget-type plays, the screens, the RPOs, and Rozeboom is definitely bringing some of that here. With a lofted throw, it's picked off. Rayner tried to find his tight end. Coach Rozeboom's quarterback misses a chance at extending that lead. With a quick 3-and-out coming from the defense in response, it would leave Tyrone Rozeboom to help coordinate a 1:20 drive before halftime to try to widen their lead. As they look to start with the air here, lofting that one towards the sideline, but off the fingertips. I'm sure a little bit of the rain having an effect on that. Coach Rozeboom gonna have to file that into his game plan for this drive as they go with the draw, and it's going to pay off big. Cross shows why Coach Rozeboom wanted to come here to Arkansas State, wanted to be close to family again, but to utilize the talent already out there. Another lofted pass, this time caught by Jackson. Rayner showing some ability here at quarterback, despite playing down here in a group of 6 conference. Doesn't mean you're not going to find good players. And lofts that one to Cross, hoping that his player can make something happen. Only a gain of 1 as that clock rolls. And Rayner having to step up here. He looks to scramble, picks up a block or 2, and he does not get out of bounds. He picks up the extra yards, and it's another red zone trip here for Coach Rozeboom. That leaves him 15 yards away. They were down here last time and tossed an interception. Looking outside here in a one-on-one that's tipped up and eventually tipped out of bounds. They try to find Hornsby there over on the left-hand side, goes for naught. Trips look now to the right-hand side, rolling, coming across, and it's picked off again in the end zone. The Pandas with the sticky fingers in their end zone. That's 2 now. Rayner has thrown, or you could have come away with 14 points, putting you up 17-0. Going through halftime, defense would respond for the Red Wolves as it's an interception, setting up the offense inside their 30. And going to the running game here, Cross has space on the outside, down inside the 15. He's averaging 6.6 yards already in this one, 10 carries. They've struggled down in the red zone. Cross finds space and takes a good shot across the middle. Following that, we will finally see the rotation of the back. Spell coming in with a 2nd and 3. Good blocking up front, and Wallace has them set up, goal to go at the 2. We'll see if they can knock it in from here. With a single back pistol set, it's Wallace with a good stiff arm. He cuts and finds that end zone. Getting back to the run game pays off for the Red Wolves as they find themselves up here 10-0 on the Pandas. With just inside 40 seconds to go here in the third quarter, another interception from the defense would set up Cross and their offense to try to widen their already 2-score lead. They're only giving up 2. Cross 20 yards away from hitting that 100 mark, and Coach Rozeboom talked prior to the season he wants to be around that 100 each and every game. Looking downfield here, though, is finding their tight end all the way down to the 5 and looking to go hurry up from there. With about 10 seconds and counting left in the quarter, the Pandas struggling to get set up here, though they get the snap off, and it's the safety stepping down to make the play. Coach Rozeboom in his first game as OC would have them set up heading into the fourth quarter. 2nd and goal at the 8. And it'll be Cross here, left-hand side. Shimmies by 1, but can't fight through the last 2. And for Coach Rozeboom here, this is a big one to make sure you don't fall well below 50% in the red zone. 3rd and goal. They're at the 2. Cross dances around, but the blocks do not form. We'll see Coach stay aggressive. Offense still on the field with a long 4th and goal at the 2. Hard count from Rayner. No one jumps. Cross keeps it, and he's got the speed to find the end zone before taking that hit at the hip, but gives Arkansas State a 17-point lead, most of which coming through the run. With the final few minutes rolling in, Pandas putting a little bit of pressure on to finish this game strong as they find a touchdown. 17-7, Wallace checks in and lowers the boom. All Coach Rozeboom has to do now is just milk that clock and give the plays that will gain yards no matter what. And keeping this with the wide receiver jet sweep, Hornsby with a nice gain. That puts Coach Rozeboom just 2 minutes away from his first victory as an OC. At the 39, it's back to Cross, who breaks this one outside and gets a little stiff arm to polish it off. Only coaching moment you have there is you got to make sure your running back stays in bounds here. 154 and counting. This time they fake the jet sweep. Cross cuts back to the right. Gets down the middle before the timeout is called with a gain of 2. Those 2 yards puts Cross over the century mark here in week 1. At the 20, it's back to Cross and back down the middle. He gets maybe about half a yard gain with a 3rd and 8. Now we see a change. It's Cross in at quarterback. Wallace gonna come in motion as the power back with the keeper doesn't get the block, but gets a good stiff arm, fighting forward, but inevitably comes up a little bit short. Final timeout called by the Pandas. And Coach Rozeboom looks for the nail here with the field goal made. 22-14 over the Pandas. Defense gave up another garbage time score. But in Coach Rozeboom's first game in charge of an offense, he had his running back go over 100 on 21 carries and came away with that dub. But with just 1 win out of several needed this year, it would go on in to week 2. And we will be stepping in to get things going inside the 2-minute warning of the first half. The offense has not seemed as smooth against the Hurricanes, though finding Cross on the dump-off, has the offense with a quick start here, needing to find some points before the half comes to a close. Rayner has a receiver open, lofts this downfield, and finds him on the run. It's Hornsby to take it the distance. Coach Rozeboom dials up the 4 verts with still over a minute to go, and they finally crack the end zone here in week 2. But scoring in such a hurry would leave them 33 seconds to try to find some more. See if Coach Rozeboom can lead them on a short, quick drive, starting with McCrumbie, who forgets to get out of bounds. We'll have to go hurry up here, get this offense set, save a few of those timeouts that are still in that back pocket, as they do get set rather quickly. Trying to step up, Rayner, he shakes one, but can't get away from the outside protection. Contained to only a 1-yard gain. Empty set to follow Rayner. Trips to the left-hand side, 2 to the left. As he steps up again, he's got space down the middle. Tries to break it back outside. Second timeout comes in from Coach Rozeboom. He's got 14 seconds to get this offense into the end zone. Trusting his quarterback this drive with a lot of empty sets. Little pump fake action. Rolling, throwing for Cross, and it's out of his hands and picked off by the diving safety for Tulsa. That is just unfortunate for all parties on the Arkansas State side. Looked like they had the chance, and it goes off their star players' fingertips. And going through halftime, with Tulsa responding to start the second half, Coach Rozeboom would have to get his offense moving here. Slow against some tougher competition. They've all but taken away Cross in this game. 4 carries, 4 yards. The drop catch leading to the interception, not getting points. And he gets tripped up on another run down the middle. Rozeboom going to have to show that he can adjust his play calling to match defenses. 3rd and 5, a big down here, needing to convert. Rolling to the outside here, and looking to get it done himself is Rayner. The sophomore quarterback here of the Red Wolves putting his body on the lines to convert. As they go back to the run game here, Cross trying to explode outside with a spin move. He finds some space. A gain of 5 for the highest overall of the Red Wolves. His best run of the game so far. Following it up by going to the air here, or scrambling off of it, Rayner to the 50. With a traditional run game gone in this one, Rayner trying to step up. Cross in motion here. Getting it to him out on the screen. Get that speed in space. He picks up 5. Trying to stretch out this defense might just help open up that run game when it's needed the most. As we're closing in on the 4th quarter here, throwing that one, finding Rucker. Rayner releasing that one just before he crossed the line. At the 36 for the Red Wolves. Tulsa, they only bring 4. Rayner, he's looking to step up again here, picking up a gain of 4. Didn't quite keep his eyes downfield, though. He had a receiver open on the left-hand side. But in the waning few seconds of the 3rd quarter, it's hurry up here for the Red Wolves. The quick flip outside and no blocking. The linebacker goes spread and nearly decapitates the receiver. But sending this game to crunch time. It's the 4th quarter with a 3rd and 6. Needing to convert. At least got to get a field goal this drive. They're setting it up to Cross on the screen, who shakes one, puts a spin move on, but comes in just short. But in a gamble, Coach Rozeboom keeps his offense on the field. He wants the touchdown. Wallace with the space. O-line does their job, and he rumbles to the 15. One thing he learned under Coach Bearington and with Joe Wesovich as his running back, in the 4th quarter, those fresh legs that bring a little bit of power can really do some damage. As Rayner, he's dancing around out there, throwing this one away finally. I'm sure I had Coach Rozeboom up in the press box yelling, this is not the time to potentially lose 20-something yards. 2nd and 10, you're at the 15. Wallace stays in. He cuts back towards the middle and finds a short gap. With that, we'll see Cross check back in with a 3rd and 7. To spread right side, Hornsby lone to the left-hand side. Open receiver across the middle. That is Rucker. Close, but again, marked short. Just about half a yard was needed. The offense stays on the field. 4th and 1. It's Wallace in the gap and powering down to the 1. A perfect response to the athleticism with Cross. Wallace bringing that power to the end zone. And Rozeboom and his offense would claim the lead here in the 4th quarter against Tulsa. But with the Hurricanes looking to respond, they're down to the 25. And right now, Rozeboom just up in the box right now, hoping that his defense can make the stop. Only up by 4. You got to at least hold them to a field goal attempt, but they'd obviously go for it. And it's a strike to the end zone. Tulsa takes the lead as it's traded back and forth here in the 4th, leaving under 2 minutes for Coach Rozeboom to orchestrate a game-winning drive. As Rayner and Cross hit the field in the backfield, they've got to find at least a field goal to keep this game going. Starting back at the 35, and Rayner trying to avoid the big fella down the middle. Williams gets the hit. It's going to be a loss of 1 and hurry up here for the Red Wolves. They don't have time to play with, needing to find a go-ahead score. Receiver open, finding him, that's Jackson crossing midfield. And that'll be a 1st down, stopping the clock for the setup here for Arkansas State. Inside a minute 30 now at the 47. Playing off coverage with 1 high safety. Looking to step up immediately. Rayner takes the contact. Looked like he thought about sliding down for a moment, but decided instead to just get what he can get. Need at least field goal range, and you're about at the outskirts of it right now. Making sure to not cost them anything. Rayner dances outside here. Doesn't open up with good flow. He throws it away. At this point, you don't have to rush anything here. You still have a little over a minute to go. 3 timeouts in your back pocket. Good play and good play calling from Coach Rozeboom has them down where they want to be. Cross down the middle has another 1st down for the Red Wolves, as they will go back to the hurry up here. Check the sideline to get the play call in. Inside the red zone. And they'll go back to Cross, setting him up down the middle here. They don't need anything crazy. Field goal ties. Touchdown takes the lead, and you got over 40 seconds to go, or now at 40. Stepping up again, open receiver, and finding him is Rucker. The back and forth continues. Coach Rozeboom with another excellent drive to lead his team down the field. With 34 seconds, you just need your defensive coordinator now to show up. And with what could be the final play of the game, it's 4th and 3 at the 32. And pressure builds, passes outside but dropped. That'll be a turnover. And the offense can come on out to kneel this game. Picking up back-to-back wins to open up the season. Tyrone Rozeboom would have the offense finding the end zone a whole lot more than they were last season. Arkansas State with a strong start, but would they be able to keep it up? With Game 3 being on the road in Michigan, it wouldn't be an easy affair, especially with the defense struggling as Edwards nearly finds the end zone, trying to put them up 3 scores. Rozeboom's offense has only managed 1 touchdown in this game. They're going to need a whole lot more if they're to find the competition they're looking for. Edwards with a staple touchdown here to really put this one a far reach away from Rozeboom and his offense. But that doesn't mean that they wouldn't give it their all. With 4:38 to go, it's Rayner starting back at the 33. As he tries to get the screen out to Cross. It's just a whole other level of competition out there. 2nd and 10 with the immediate pressure given up front. Throwing to the tight end and squeezing it in. setting up a 3rd and 3. They would go hurry up. An All-American stacked front line here. Coach Rozeboom has a difficult decision to make. You want to get that ball in the hands of your best player, but there's not much else out there to help him. You got to look to try to get it done in the air and on 4th down. Needing 3 with a hard count, no one jumps. Rolling to the right-hand side, and Rayner keeps this one. Tiptoeing the sideline, he forgot the ball. Luckily for Coach Rozeboom, the sideline is there to help him out. At the 48, you got a fresh set of downs. Once again, Rayner is going to have to step up here, get what he could get, and slide on down, picking up 8, and looking to go hurry up from there. Tight coverage across the board here from Michigan, with their safety sitting about 15 yards deep. And Rayner again having to step up here, avoid the big old DT. Takes a big hit down at the 33, but converts here for Arkansas State. Coach Rozeboom has been able to rely on his sophomore cornerback pretty well out the gate, stepping up when needed as Cross finally finds some space. On his 9th carry, he finally hits the 40-yard mark. The front here for Michigan really has dominated. As once again, they're trying to set up a pass, though just getting that one out to avoid a sack. Coach Rozeboom would be left with another 3rd down, 3rd and 2, which it is an empty set. Cross over to the left-hand side. Trips look to the right-hand side with Cross in motion. As they go with the jet sweep, he turns up and fights through 2 defenders to pick up that 1st down. Needing Cross to step up, try to get them going. Screen to the outside here. That'll find Ely, nearly another 1st down. Rayner putting together the best drive we've seen so far in this game, and it's late in it. Checking down here and to the outside. That's Hawkins turning up and a touchdown. Coach Rozeboom going nowhere in this one. He teaches his offense to fight till that last whistle sounds. With 2:27, they bite into their deficit. But with the defense unable to pick up another stop, Michigan would take that game as expected. It would be Coach Rozeboom's first loss as offensive coordinator. But his offense showed fight late, and that's about all we could ask for. But heading into the final game before opening up conference play, it'd be against ranked 22 Iowa State. And Coach Rozeboom would have them in this one, a tight one, 10-3, a low-scoring, more defensive battle, as it's a handoff going to Hawkins. He'll pick up a few, but very much leaving the Red Wolves behind the chains. A 3rd and 14 with a hard count, no one jumps. Quick throw right down the seam and finding McCrumbie for the 1st down. Coming into the season, Coach Rozeboom talked a lot about Cross, but he hasn't quite been there the last few games. Rayner is stepping up to lead this team as Wallace tries to hit the edge. He's taken down for a 1-yard loss back at the 30. Trips look right-hand side with some play action and throwing that one away. He did have McCrumbie in the area, so no penalty, a 3rd and 11. As they go with some play action, coming across, you got an open target, hitting him, finding the 1st down. He weaves back towards the middle to the 10. Rayner again shows up big. And for Tyrone Rozeboom, he's showing not only does he understand his running backs in the run game, but he's working well here with Rayner, or at least has put a good staff around him. Wallace couldn't keep his feet. He picks up a short gain and a 2nd and goal. 2 receivers to the right, 1 to the left. And floating this one outside. The pass does not quite get out there. Rayner had Hawkins where he wanted him, open, but a great play there from the linebacker to take it away. It looks like Rayner trying to set up a play on the outside, but not able to get that communication across. Rayner under pressure, and he throws this one away this time, though there is a flag down, and they are going to get intentional grounding. Unfortunate call, but with the pressure building, it does bring out the field goal unit. Down the middle, Arkansas State pulls within 4 points, but they need their defense to get them a stop if there's any chance at the upset. And they'd have the opportunity they need. With a 3rd and 14, just over 2 minutes, they set up the halfback screen with open space, fighting forward but not able to get through the final defender. Arkansas State will get the ball back as they force that punt at the 47. Hoping for a good return here to set up a drive, but sent out of bounds. It'll be the 19. And you need the touchdown this time. Hard count, no one jumps, nothing cheap here for Rayner, who spins around as he's looking to scramble here, getting that first down and dipping out. A good gain there, play 1, and taking us through the 2-minute break. Too tight over on the right-hand side. Rayner, open target, throws it and finds Jackson, who holds on through the hit. Will be hurry up here for the Red Wolves as they reach the midfield line. 1st and 10, and Hawkins on the draw. Will have space on the right-hand side, picking up 6. And sets up the Red Wolves here at the 44. No one quite playing off coverage. Rayner steps up, shakes one, and picks up another first down. That keeps a train rolling here for the Red Wolves, who now could look to even downshift their momentum, take their time, and find the big play downfield as Rayner just gets that one out and finds the turf before taking the sack. 2nd and 10. Another hard count, no one jumps. This time, though, it will be a loss. Mendozoon. It sets up a 3rd and 19 now. With an empty set. Hard count's not working here. Stepping up and trying to get what he can. Rayner with a solid gain of about 10. Leaves 4th and 8. They're keeping that final timeout in their back pocket. Rayner barking to change. This time it looks like he's able to communicate. Hard count, no one jumps. Throws this one outside, and it's picked off. A telegraph throw that time by Rayner. And ultimately, Iowa State will hold on. You got to appreciate the fight here from Arkansas State the last 2 weeks, facing ranked opponents. It was much closer this go around. Unfortunately, just came up a little bit short, and that was with them missing one of their key players. Early in that game, Cross dislocated his hip, and his season is pretty much done and dusted. So that means Coach Rozeboom is going to have to come up with a new game plan fixtured around their sophomore quarterback. And kickstarting Sunbelt play it would be. That offense leading the charge as they return home and take down South Alabama 17-0. Rayner would throw a $161, a touchdown, and a turnover, but he's hitting 75% of his passes. Coach Rozeboom is setting his quarterback up for success. And even with us missing Cross, the senior in Zach Wallace has stepped up, averaged 6.3 yards his first game as the official starter. But heading into game 2 of conference play against the 5-0 Texas State Bobcats, future Pac-12 team, they'd prove a tough challenge. And arguably more so for the defense, who has struggled to stop their offense this game. Down inside the red zone, already up 11. They're looking to widen that lead as they take the handoff down the middle. 5 rushes, 76 yards. We've been gashed. Meanwhile, Coach Rozeboom has really just had to sit back and watch while his offense themselves have struggled, needing to come alive as the Bobcats would tack on another touchdown here in the 3rd quarter. They've got to move fast, and they've got to move furious. With Cross gone, it's got to be Rayner to lead them down the field. He's barking a change out there, starting back at the 21. He's got his receiver off the snap, lofts it in, and finds Hornsby. He's at the 20, 10, 5, quick answer. How's that for a fast and furious touchdown coming by Arkansas State. And you know that had to come with both the call up in the box and the knowledge of the sophomore quarterback inside Coach Rozeboom's new scheme. Finding his top receiver, seeing out the gate that it was going to be press one-on-one, and trusting him to come through. With the defense picking up a big stop on the following drive, we'll be starting at the 44 with a chance to make this a one-score game. And you've got to come through on that. With a high point ball, he finds Hornsby yet again. Rayner coming alive here for the Red Wolves, just when Coach Rozeboom needs him the most. A couple more calls coming in here from Rayner to get them set up, needing to end in the end zone here. He's got his tight end, and back in the end zone. 2 quick strikes in the second half draws this game to 4 points. Well, that's only if you settle for the point after, and Coach will not settle. Offense stays out there trying to make this a field goal game, and stepping up, he'll do it himself. Rayner with a great second half, 21-18, and you need a defensive stop yet again. And as the fourth quarter arrives, Texas State putting together another good drive. They're inside plus territory, utilizing that run game. 3 yards away for 100 on it. And it's 2nd and 4, inside 4.5 minutes. They're going to have a shotgun look here with another handoff down the middle. Close to the line to gain for Motti, but he's about a yard short. Might even be a little bit less than a yard. They go hurry up, changing up their look. Going to send 2 to the top. The strong look that way. Delayed handoff and taken down in the backfield. It sets up a 4th and 2. The chance to find a go-ahead score. They toss it up top, and it's a turnover on downs. The defense rallies, and the offense takes over at the 29. Rozeboom up in the booth has them set up as it's read option. Rayner keeps it for a gain of 3. And with over 3.5 minutes to go here, you do want to eat up some clock, but you got to find the end zone. Play action under pressure, throwing that one over Wallace's head into the sideline. Quick response there by Rayner to avoid any sort of catastrophe, losing yards on that play. 3rd and 7 as he's barking a few more calls out there. No one offering on some of these hard counts. He steps up, though. He's got the first down and gives himself up at the 45. They do, however, go hurry up from there. Not exactly eating up time, but getting set to see what's offered to him as Rayner checks the sidelines a couple times. Good coverage across the board and unable to leak out. It will be a loss of 3. That'll definitely eat up some time. Lofting this one, though. Coming over is the corner. Coming over is the safety, who's the only one there to break that one up. 2 open receivers might have needed to put a little bit more juice on that throw. 3rd and 13 as they bring the heavy blitz in. They're unable to get that one out cleanly. It's 4th and long. And surprisingly, Coach keeps them out there. Inside 3 minutes, it's still on their own side. Hard count, no one jumps. They'll try again and no one jumps. 3rd time, Wallace moves, and they will have to punt this one away, hoping for a stop. And it could be with another 3rd down plus side. They need 3. Motioning their tight end into the backfield, handing it off, and the push is close, giving them the first down by mere millimeters. So first timeout called for Arkansas State. Going right back to the same play, unable to get by the line of scrimmage. Leaves one more timeout. Coach Rozeboom needs the defense to come through to allow his offense to take the field. 2nd and 10 as they've got more motion. Faking the jet sweep. It's right back down the middle. A short gain with no more free timeouts. They will have to rely on penalties, getting out of bounds, blocking the ball, incomplete passes, things of the like. With a 3rd and 8, a little shimmy will gain about 2, a 4th and 6 as they trot out the field goal unit here. This to be about a 55-yard attempt to make this a little bit tougher. And he drills that field goal. A touchdown is a must now with no timeouts on your side. This is a big time for both Coach as well as Rayner, trying to lead his team back against one of the top teams you're going to face. And the quick check down does not go really anywhere. 3-yard gain at the most, and that clock is rolling. First downs will pause that clock, but not for long as Rayner can't escape. It's another short gain of 1. 30 seconds to go. And it's a 3rd and 8. Throwing away 4th and 8. The blocking just simply has not been there in this 4th quarter. Rayner with a 4th and 8. You've got to convert. Throws it right side, and he's got it. McCrumbie with some space down the sideline to the Oppo 47. A massive completion there to convert. Has them alive with a little bit of hope. Still at the 22 here, and they're going to go right back to McCrumbie, who drops it. Honestly, that's probably a good thing, as he would not have been able to get out of bounds. 18 seconds to go. Hard count. No free play here. And bouncing to the outside, throwing it late. He will find a short gain. But with 13 seconds to go, you need the end zone. So you got to look a little bit further downfield. Making a couple changes out there is Rayner with a 3rd and 5 as they bring that blitz. Throwing cross body, and there's some bump coverage downfield that goes uncalled. I believe it was Hornsby coming across to look to be open. 4th and 5, you got safety help down the field, tight coverage on the outside. And you've got an open target. It's lofted for Hornsby, and it's a touchdown for Arkansas State. Hornsby with the deep ball and the dagger to the fans here of Texas State, as the point after will give them a 1-point lead. And it would be good enough to see them through. Arkansas State upsets the undefeated Bobcats. And it's a massive second half showing by both Hornsby and the sophomore quarterback, with Coach Tyrone Rozeboom help leading them back in a massive win, staying perfect in conference. And jumping just one more week down the lines, once again, they would have to find another comeback win. Coach Rozeboom showing that he could battle back in games, but he got to show that he could take full advantage early on. Down a touchdown, but plus side, it's Hawkins for a gain of 5. With a little under 5 minutes to go in this one, you need at least 2 scores to find the lead with a defensive stop in the middle. Hawkins cuts back right-hand side, shows a shimmy, but can't break by. His 9th carry in this one, 51 yards, so spreading around the rushing with Cross gone. As motion across, that's going to be the receiver in Rucker, breaking it to the outside. He's got an angle, but doesn't have the speed as the ball comes out. However, a quick review would actually have that overturned. He was down. 1st and goal. And handing this one off, Hawkins not able to get outside. Lemons brings him down for a 2-yard loss and back on the other side of the 10. Hard count there, no one jumps. With a lofted throw here, it's Hornsby for the touchdown. And once again, Tyrone Rozeboom coaches his offense down the field to tie a game in the 4th quarter. 3:38 to go. But as the game is winding down, the defense would not be able to really pick up a big stop. And Southern Miss would be set up for a field goal, as they call a timeout, to put them up here with seconds to spare. And it's down the middle. Southern Miss will take the game. unable to find one more drive to try to find the go-ahead score, but this is where you need to shift the late game action much earlier, and that's going to come on the offense, who found most of their points in the second half this season. But at home against Troy, it would be yet another repeat. 4th and 2. You're at about 4.5 minutes left in the game and you're down 13. You've got to convert here. Rolling, throwing, finding the tight end and splashing down at the 3. It's hurry up. Trying to get this offense moving here. Got to find the end zone, save a little bit more time this week. With a quick flip, it's to the outside. Jackson, spin move, and in. Arkansas State with another 4th quarter touchdown, trying to spark another comeback with 4:15 to spare, hoping that the defense would provide the opportunity this go-around. With a pretty quick 3 and out, they would provide it, but a blocked extra point following that touchdown means you now need a touchdown to tie or go for 2 for the win. Hard count, no one jumps. And throwing across the middle, that's going to find Jackson, who had the previous touchdown. A good start to this drive. They just need to finish. The hurry up look here. Plenty of time, but want to save some of that time. Rayner looking to scramble here. 1 to beat. Can't shake the man. He picks up 8. And we'll get them going at the 33. As we move closer to about 2.5 minutes left to go here. Press coverage across the board. Rayner sees it. Coach barks the call to get them set. As they look again, downfield, it's Hornsby with the grab. He's down inside the 25 for the Red Wolves. It's been a complete 180 for Coach Rozeboom, stepping in here, really wanting to show off Cross, and now he's having to show off the talent of this young quarterback who just gets rocked, coughing up that ball. But getting on top of it is one of the linemen. Back to the line of scrimmage, so no loss on the play as you're through the 2-minute break. And stepping up again, this time with space, that is Rayner. Down to the 12. For the 1st and 10, 1:50 to go. He's got his receiver in motion. That's Hornsby looking to get this one outside. He's got the angle, finding that pylon. And a decision to make. Do you tie the game, hoping your defense gets the stop and giving you a chance for that field goal to find the win, or do you look to go for 2? Well, if you quickly want to find your way to a head coach position, sometimes you got to show you can be aggressive. Offense stays on out there. The hard count does not work. Got to find the quick hitter, but he's taken down through the rush. And it's 23-22 Troy. Well, the defense this time, they're trying to step up. It's 3rd and 11. And they go with a handoff, getting the stop as an injury does come down. No timeouts remain then for us, but we will get ball. And that'll leave Rayner and Coach with 1:18 to find the go-ahead points. They could have tied it there last time. Pass rush shows up as he goes untouched around the edge. A loss of 5 out the gate here. He gets his offense set up with a 2nd and 15. Got to respond quickly here. Rayner looking to scramble, dancing around. He's going to pick up about 10, leaving 5 here on 3rd. The initial look, they don't quite like, so another change coming in here from Rayner. Barking a call to spread either side. Needing to convert here. He might have to do it with his legs, as he will look to. Scrambling around and taking those hits still. Down at the 50. Got to remember, no timeouts here for the Red Wolves, so they've got to move swiftly to find at least field goal range. As Rayner avoids lost yardage again, but he gets taken down. Only a gain of 4. Clock stays rolling inside 20. He's back on the move and takes that contact, powering down to what they hope is field goal range. This is a long kick, but would be for the win. No timeouts coming in from Troy to try to ice. And I think he slipped. And it's going to be a loss here for Arkansas State. The pressure gets to Ellison as he shanks it off the inside of his foot. Nearly hitting a pylon, if only that would be for 5 points. But for Coach, he left it up to the play of his kicker to try to find the winner. Going for 2 there, trying to find the go-ahead instead of finding the tie. And Troy walks away with the dub. As Coach leads his offense into the last quarter of the regular season, they sit at 500. And right now, there are plenty of teams above Arkansas State in the Sun Belt. And even more specifically, looking at the West, we did take down the Texas State Bobcats. We beat South Alabama. We lost to Southern Miss, which is why we are below them in the current standings. Some of these teams drop some games and we pick up wins. There is still a shot at that conference championship. So stepping into a game against the Ragin' Cajuns in which we need 2 more wins to become bowl eligible. We'd have another close game in the 4th quarter, 13-9. Starting back deep here, Wallace in the backfield picks up some good blocking across the board and hits on a big run to start the drive. That is what we need to see here, especially late on in these games. We've done well in finding the tying scores. Now we need to find those winning scores. Get above 500. Hornsby with another step as that one's flying downfield. 20, 10, 5, touchdown Hornsby. Coach Rozeboom has dialed up big pass plays late on in these games. Rayner finding Hornsby for yet another deep ball touchdown with the go-ahead score. And with the momentum on the side of the Red Wolves, the defense would pick up a turnover, giving the offense the ball. Just under 2.5 minutes to go. Swinging this one out to Wallace. He's got open space, taking on the safety, running through him. For the first time, almost all season long, we see Coach Rozeboom coming out here with an offense set on running some clock, though no blocking on the power run. Timeout comes in on the loss. But arguably just as important as it is to see how teams handle themselves when down, you got to see how a team handles themselves when they're up. 2nd and 14 and potentially looking to pass the ball here. Throwing downfield and McCrumbie toe taps the sideline. Would have loved to see him stay in bounds, but the defense was begging for that kind of play. And well, Coach Rozeboom delivered that play. 1st and 10 at the 21. As it's back to Wallace, this time a little bit better blocking. Ragin' Cajuns called their 2nd timeout, leaving them with 1 more. 1:47 to go. And nowhere to go as Hawkins smacked down immediately. There was absolutely 0 blocking for him down the middle in a 3rd and 11. For the hard count, no one jumps. And again, nowhere to go. Now your kicker missed the winner last week. Can he find the extender here to rebuild his confidence? Sneaks it in the right upright, making this a 6-point game. And with less than a minute to go with no timeouts, Ragin' Cajuns need something big here, under pressure and wrapped up for a loss. Toll gets there first. A loss of 5 as they've got to hurry back here to clock that into the dirt. Save some time for the 3rd and 15. They need at least to convert here. Then you look for the touchdown that would put them tied with the extra point, and they go with a draw. Not getting by anybody. 4th and potentially game here for Arkansas State. Cajuns checking the sideline here for a final adjustment. Blitz brought by the Red Wolves. Thrown downfield. They've got the 1st down and inside the 15. or there just about. They actually mark him down to the 16. With 16 seconds to go, it's hurry up. They will have to snap that, clocking it down with 12 seconds to go. They are 17 yards away from potentially finding the go-ahead score, needing that point after. Cajuns dancing around, taking another big hit as 45 levels them. And that will be the final. Louisiana made it close there late, but the field goals at the end with the touchdown is good enough to see us through as Jalen Rayner takes your player of the game, 250 on 72% complete. But heading into week 12 against Georgia State, they would not be able to carry that momentum. Georgia State would get an early lead, and despite 2 garbage time touchdowns, Arkansas State would drop that one 24-21. And that means with 2 more games to go at home, one against UL Monroe and one against Old Dominion, you need at least 1 win to become bowl eligible. And you would also need Texas State to drop both of their last 2 games to drop out of first tier in the Sun Belt West Division. As we have beaten both South Alabama and Texas State, we could jump above them with a tied record. Returning home and playing UL Monroe with a whole lot on the lines. We'd see a quick start in the first half, a lot of points being scored. Though come the second half, things would slow down a little bit. But a 24-14 lead we would carry into the fourth, looking to extend that lead and put another game behind us and in the win column. In order to do that, we've got to see these last 4 minutes through. Flipping this one outside, they got Jackson inside the 10 and out at the 8. Looking to extend their 10-point lead to make it a 3-score game and hopefully find their way on by the Warhawks here. Pushing Hawkins down to the 2. And they'll bring out Wallace to follow the power back in shotgun here. With motion across, going to bring a couple defenders in tight. Wallace can't get by the linebacker. And Wallace from there will move to the quarterback spot. It's Hawkins spread out wide. He'll keep it, trying to get outside with the blocks formed. It will be a 3-score lead late on here in the fourth quarter versus UL Monroe. And that lead would prove too much for UL Monroe. I don't know why the boys aren't too happy out there. We picked up the dub 31-21, making us bowl eligible with 1 more week to go and another strong performance coming from Jalen Rayner. With Texas State not losing that week, they secured their spot at the top of the Sun Belt West and will be headed to the championship. However, the east side of things is not certain, and we can play a role in that if we can beat Old Dominion and perhaps put ourselves in a better bowl situation. So as we head in at Arkansas State for the final time in the regular season, we have another close battle against Old Dominion, fighting for their chance at potential conference championships. And a 4th and 1. Going for it. Cross is returned, and he's picking up the first down for the Red Wolves. Down by 6 points, trying to lead them down the field. Rolling to the right-hand side here, and Rayner will try to pick up a little bit of a block there in 6 yards. He's done a great job of keeping this team alive as Cross has recovered from his injury, as he will be here for the bowl game, getting the first down. This is another situation you don't have to hurry things here. 3:29 to go as you are just about plus side. Need to take your time. Or throwing behind. That could be a pick 6. Cross, though, will recover, making the stop. Old Dominion gets the pick on the pass behind from Rayner. And that would ultimately lead to a 2-touchdown lead by Old Dominion. Now needing 2 touchdowns of our own just to tie the game. But going downfield, it's Hornsby with a big play. And with the 2-minute break hitting there, you perhaps have a little bit of life here, but you've got to make it happen quickly. Back to Hornsby, but this time broken up. Rayner thought he might have had him there, but trying to get him back to the line here quickly. You've got to answer quickly with the defense still needing to pick up a stop. Looking to scramble here. Rayner runs down inside the 15, taking some hard contact at the end of that run. And has them down inside the 15. Keeping with that hurry up pace. Coverage backs off a little bit. And getting rid of it is Rayner. For a large portion of this season, he's been clean out there with those late releases. Unfortunate misthrow in this game has them in trouble as the high-pointed pass couldn't be found there. Rayner left it up to Cross, hoping he'd be able to climb the ladder. 3rd and 10 with a hard count, no one jumps. And no one's open either, and taking the sack. It is Ricardo Williams Jr., setting up a 4th and 17. Hard count, no one jumps. Got to find something here. Throwing across and through the hands of McCrumbie. Looked like they might have had it there. They do find another garbage time score, but it comes too late as they needed to. Old Dominion keeps their hopes at the championship alive, depending on what some other games panned out. But as for our Arkansas State Red Wolves, they are bowl eligible. And Coach Rozeboom has his fingers crossed. It'll be a good one. And it will be the 68 Ventures Bowl in Mobile, Alabama, facing Miami of Ohio. Now, before this game even begins, there's already a little bit of talk on if Coach Rozeboom will be moving on. He's already getting calls from Western Kentucky about taking over as their head coach after they just fired Mark Cunningham. The reason he's probably getting those kind of calls is because of what he's done with Jalen Rayner, the sophomore quarterback. 21 touchdowns to 8 interceptions. It hasn't always been clean, but he's put him in a good spot. That's especially with the fact that they've missed Cross for a majority of the season. Wallace has stepped up to provide some solid running, 4.5 yards, only 2 touchdowns though. Rayner, he's scrambling pretty successfully. And he's got Hornsby up to 9 touchdowns this year with one more game to go. So heading down to South Alabama, Coach Rozeboom will have a chance to show what he can do on the national stage. A bowl game in his first year as an offensive coordinator. And they'll be hitting the field with the defense picking up a stop out the gate. At the 41, it's Cross in the backfield as he tries to cut to the outside but wasn't able to get out there. Remaining at the 40, they drop back to shotgun. Still getting it to Cross out on the screen with a spin move. He spins inside the block. That has him set up with a 3rd and 3. Sitting back in shotgun. However, it looks like Rayner checking the sideline. Doesn't like what he sees out there. Hard count, no one jumps. They bring the blitz. It's picked up well, and there's nowhere to go. Miami of Ohio brought the pressure. 4th and 3, though the offense stays on out. Weak side to the right. And they run that way. Cross has the first down, going plus side. Staying aggressive, just like his predecessor and Coach Bearington. Going to go back to the air, floating that one out, and a little bit too late. Once again, they tried to find Cross, who once again is huffing and puffing out there after several plays back to back at the 44. Looking to get this one set up. And Rayner looking to escape. He's to the outside here by the 20 and angles out at the 10. A big run there on the quarterback scramble. But who knows with what he's shown here down at Arkansas State. Got to wonder if a few of those bigger teams might be looking his way. Oh, no escape this time. Maybe had a receiver breaking open late. Well, that moves the Red Wolves back to the 14 with a 2nd and goal. Sticking back in shotgun, handing this one off cross. Not able to break the tackle from the safety. Does, however, pick up a short gain, about 3 yards, and a 3rd and goal at the 11. With a hard count, no one jumps. And coming across, though, throwing that one, looked like he tried to find Cross in the back of the end zone. It came in low. He had Hornsby running free underneath. You gotta imagine that is just a missed throw on his part. Miami would look to take advantage of that turnover, driving down inside their own red zone. The 1st and 10, it's a dump off to their tight end, fighting and dragging bodies, picking up 5. Gets some inside the 10 with 2 spread to either side. Game still deadlocked here at 0-0. Blitz brought, thrown over the top, and a touchdown for Miami. They capitalize off the interception in the other end zone, driving down the field and taking a lead here in the Ventures Bowl. As for Rayner, he's trying to overcome his own mistakes by getting this offense back into scoring position. Down at the 23 at about 2.5 minutes to go in the first half. It's crossed down the left side for 8. I'm sure Rayner, as well as Coach Rozeboom, appreciating a little bit of having him back and just being able to take a little bit of pressure off that group up front as Rayner couldn't break through. Ugwu brings him down, leaving a 3rd and 3 through the 2-minute break. Needing to convert here to spread right-hand side. Good coverage, you got a spy, but throwing and breaking it up. It looked like he had Cross with good positioning. A great play there from the linebacker, but the offense stays on the field with Cross at quarterback. It's Wallace, though, on the keeper, and he's got all the grass to tie this game. An aggressive call in the bowl game coming from Coach Tyrone Rozeboom. And it's got them level here, 7 apiece, just inside 2 minutes to go. With a quick response coming from the defense and a 3 and out, it buys Arkansas State and Coach a little bit of time here with 2 timeouts. Try to find a lead. Under pressure, throwing that one away. Perhaps a little bit too far away. They did have the receiver in the area. But with that one solely flying out of bounds, they will get him with a 10-yard penalty and a loss of downs. Really putting them on their back foot here and nowhere to go. A sack comes in. There really wasn't much Rayner could have done there. The spy took away the running lanes and no one seemingly got open. 3rd and 21. They look to go to the air. Open receiver. Putting it on him is Stevenson Jr. out at the 38. Rayner stayed in the backfield, standing strong, took a big hit, but delivered the big-time throw. Coming across, and this time he's got Hornsby. Couldn't keep his feet. Tiptoes out at the 46. Red Wolves go plus side. 1st and 10, and a little bit of some play action. Throwing this one outside. That's Stevenson Jr. Turning up. He's got the first down by the 30, and finally taken down with some hurry up here coming from the offense. They're down to the 27. 2 timeouts to spare. They hand this one off cross. Looks to get that speed outside. Great pursuit, though, from Blakely. Still not utilizing those timeouts, though. That clock will roll inside 30 seconds. Going back to it here. Open receiver breaking across downfield. That is Rucker for the lead. Coach Rozeboom dials up a promising 2-minute drive to give Arkansas State the lead. And in fact, that lead would hold well into the 4th quarter as Rucker would actually find a 2nd touchdown. Now just needing to drain some clock. Cross taking the handoff at the 33 and finding 8. Coach Rozeboom definitely has them in the downshift mode here. Needing just 2 more yards for a fresh set of downs. Motioning across. Cross opens up on the outside, down around the 10, hits that spin move, and dives into that end zone. He will not be denied a touchdown after most of the year slipped away from him with injury. A big finish here, 28-7, 3:07 left in this game. And while Miami would find one more touchdown, our lead would prove too much. And in his first year as the official offensive coordinator, Coach Tyrone Rozeboom would lead the Arkansas State Red Wolves to a Ventures Bowl game win. Corey Rucker, 2 grabs, 2 touchdowns, and we won this game by 2 touchdowns. But where does Coach go from here? Well, you're just going to have to stick around to find out. Well, that brings us to a close here today. I hope you enjoyed this little mini series, even though it is just going to be 1 episode. I did lose track of time. Originally, I wanted this to be about a 2 to 4 episode long series, maybe going over 2 seasons. But we got College Football 26 coming out on Monday. So to make up for the fact that this was not a series, we are going to have a live stream on Monday, Pacific Standard Time, 12:30. To make sure you're there for it, hit that sub button either down below, bear icon in the bottom right, and definitely tap that bell icon so you're notified of when that goes live, as well as all of my other videos. And for Tyrone Rozeboom, he's going to have 3 videos next week, including that live stream Monday through Wednesday. We're going to move the Jaguars to Thursday for that off season, and Cha-Cha Vaz over on the show. Don't want to spoil anything in case you missed it, but he's on a new team. That'll be back on Friday, and then we'll get back to the normal upload schedule in the following week. But I hope you guys enjoyed this little mini series as we kind of put College Football 25 to bed. We will still have 1 more video of College Football 25. That might be a couple weeks away, with Coach Bearington and the Stanford Cardinal rounding out their story. I want to make sure we get that right. And I'm going to use this a little bit as a test on how I want to do that one, as a little bit more of a docu style. Similar to this, I still think there's a couple things I can improve on it. Let me know what you thought about this video down below and what team you think Coach Rozeboom is headed to next. We already saw an offer coming from Western Kentucky. Now we're getting one from Memphis. So some teams are definitely taking notice of a young rising star at head coach. So until I see you all for that live stream on Monday, 12:30 Pacific Standard Time, make sure you are prepared. Check the community tab for hints at who the new team's going to be. And we will start College Football 26 with 3 back-to-back episode days. And hopefully, Coach Rozeboom will rebuild them just as quickly as he did here with Arkansas State winning that bowl game.